says a recording is already in progress. It looks like someone on this account is already recording, and you can only record in one studio at a time.
Well, that's because it's me. I have the button power, not you.
No, it's you saw the look in my eyes.
Yeah, I knew
that
you
I
were
was
going to
press the
record.
button.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to It's Cool Us Too, the podcast about being a woman in your 30s and beyond, and before, and just basically building out the life that you want on your terms, your rules, and your timeline, and basically just building your dream life.
Designing it from the ground up. We had a phenomenal. Oh, it was so nice to have a new guest on the podcast. Oh,
I know.
it was amazing.
Guests
She was great.
breathe such life into this. I find for both you and I feel like that's
the good shit. And we want more of that. I know we've been saying this for a little while, but we do have some phenomenal guests coming up that I'm really, really pumped about. But if anyone listening has someone that they would like to be on our podcast, please do DM us and let us know, because we're always on the lookout for cool women.
Yeah. No, I love it. I have such good vibes right now.
No, Nicole has
and
a crush on
I had such a
her.
shit day. I did. Megan told me during the recording. Megan told me during the recording that I was coming on too strong. So first of all, rude. Second of all, you're not wrong. So no, you'll see when you get to the recording, she's such a breath of fresh air, such good vibes.
She's in her 20s.
Yes. So I was saying to Meg, we got off, I'm like, I simultaneously, and I mean this is the biggest compliment to her, I simultaneously feel so old and so behind.
She's got so much self-confidence, which we dive into a little bit, to be able to do her own thing in her late 20s and go off and become an entrepreneur. It's just, I don't think that I could have done that.
She's truly betting on herself.
She's betting on herself.
I know.
She's amazing. Okay, yeah. So before we dive in, I owe the listeners an update. I've got that Post Malone glow.
That's my drum roll.
That sounded like purring. It's not wrong.
I'm in such a weird mood now.
But yes, I went to Milan. So I sat down next to a woman on the flight, the flight over, and I had a stopover in Montreal. And so got back on the plane in Montreal. She sits down and she's like, "Oh, so you're headed to Milan?" And I was like, "Yep." She was our mom's age. And she's like, "How long are you going for?" I was like, 5 days. And she was like, "What?" And then I was like, "How long are you going for?" She's like, "A month." And I was like, "Okay."
Well, that's the difference between retired and having a job.
Yes. She actually was quite cool. Her daughters live there, plural. And so she was going to stay with her daughters. I was like, that's very cool. But anyways, I will stop. What am I trying to say? Not getting into the details. It was amazing. We had such a great time. It was obviously very nerve-wracking. So he was teaching during the day. So I landed in the morning on the Thursday. So I had a whole day, including dinner time, to wait for him to arrive. So I took a nap, did some work, went out to dinner, and then was just kind of like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And it was just so comfortable. I mean, he's amazing. Yeah, he's really great. We did all the stuff I had said. We went to a gig, which was so fun. We walked along the canal and went into record shops and bookstores and had a couple of drinks. He cooked for me. We went to a rugby match, which I'm not a sports girl, but I was eating it up. It was so fun. And just did all of the things together. It was so great. So, definitely more to come on time spent with Italian boy, but the trip was well worth it. I forget who I was saying this to, but I would do it again in a heartbeat. It was super, super worth the time and
And
effort.
that's the energy we need to have this year.
Yes.
That's the vibes.
Yeah.
I don't know what this duck hand is doing, but
yes, no, if you, I mean, don't just like go to a random country for a guy you don't know, but
no.
if you know in your gut that it's worth the investment, then my advice in my current mindset is go for it.
Yeah. And I will say, because you and I talked before you went and after, I think your head space around everything is like exactly where it needs to be. It's like very perfect, very balanced, very mature, but like similar to our guest, like betting on yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I really am. I you don't sit back. I think because we've done this recording with her and we were like, you're so self-confident. You really are betting on yourself. Like very different facet of life. I'm not hoping to go into business with this person.
Well,
but it was a gamble, and the gamble is so far paying off. So sometimes you got to follow your gut.
yeah. I have not had the same experience the last few weeks.
No.
I've not been very well, including most recently over this lovely Easter weekend.
Oh, you're going to tell people.
I am. I had, for the second time in a few months, what I would like the stomach flu. So am I closer to my goal weight? Yes. Do I still feel nauseous and can't eat certain foods? Also, yes. And could I have really used Monday as a day to get my life together? Because I'd planned it as like I was off. It was going to be a really important,
life admin
day to really kick off Q2 in the right way. Lord had other plans for me. I was in the fetal position for most of the day. So, fuck you.
Yeah, seriously. Very different vibes.
But I did. This is so random and so me. On like Friday night, Good Friday. So I was in Charlottetown. I flew like the 5 a.m. flight out, 5 a.m. flight back. So I was exhausted when I landed. But I woke up from my like nap on Friday afternoon and just got this urge to plan. And so I have this giant blank calendar. And so but it was like planning for work. So I've got so many big things coming up. And so it was like I entered a flow state, Meg. Like highlighters, sticky notes, all of this for like the next 12 to 16 months. I've like marked things down that now I have to validate with my team and my leadership team.
Holy shit.
I spent like 2.5 hours and it was like, I put the pen down and I was like, came back to my body. Like it was very strange.
And then you did this all like in like a paper to pen situation.
Paper to pen
like,
on like a Friday night, which I don't know what that says about my social life at the moment, but here we are. But it felt so good.
Oh, that's awesome. Sometimes I definitely have not been feeling that way this week. I think probably because I'm like in a little goo goo gaga world where I'm like,
yeah,
what even matters, other than like I'm not in it in the way you just described from a work's perspective, which is kind of freaking me out.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. I have been there before where you're like, oh my God, I'm so excited about this. And you're really excited about this big project that you've got coming up too. So it's like you want to invest enough that a Friday night is being taken up by doing so.
Well, I think also in my old age, one of the things that I've recognized is like, no, but like as I've gotten older, do you ever get these like intuitive pulls to do something?
Yes.
You're like, oh, like maybe I was going to do my taxes or I was going to go on a walk, but it's like, I feel really called to like declutter my entire house right now. Or just, I find that happening more and more. And I'm following those intuitive pulls more and more. And I'm getting so much out of them when I do it. Cause like, I truly am just entering these like flow states. And then it's,
cause you like want to do it in that moment. You're not forcing
it's crazy.
yourself.
Yeah. So that's been, my whole April is, I hope, again, barring me getting fucking nauseous again, going to be about just getting myself set up to have a really good rest of the year.
Good for you.
I'm trying. It's not going so well so far. But hey.
On that note,
Yeah.
you guys want to listen to Maggie? She's a badass.
Yeah. And something that's honestly just going to make you feel so good.
Yeah. It's heartwarming. It's heartwarming stuff.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Please do check out the community she's building if you're in Toronto. And we will talk to you guys soon.
Yes. Love you guys.
Love you. Bye. Hello, Maggie. We are so excited to have Maggie joining us today. So Maggie started in molecular biology. I'm so proud I didn't trip over that saying. So she started in molecular biology, moved into clinical research in Toronto. She's in her late 20s. And in the last few months has quit her clinical research job and moved into building a community for women in their 20s and 30s in Toronto called the Connection Collective. And we are so excited that you've joined us today. Thank you so much, Maggie. Can't wait to dive in.
Thank you both for having me. I'm so excited to chat.
Is this your first podcast?
It is.
You are just like such a breath of fresh air too.
Yeah.
Like, and there's no difference between like hitting record and like our conversation beforehand too. And you're just like very bright and bubbly and like good energy. So I'm very excited about this podcast.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Because it's my first podcast, I actually don't know what the etiquette is. So I'm like, let's just chat.
Yeah,
that's how we run things.
That's perfect. That's how we run things. We, as we mentioned when we did a pre-call, as I mentioned in the email that I sent you, we often send all these questions and then we just end up like vibing for like 45 minutes.
I honestly couldn't even look at the questions for too long. I was like, I don't even want to like pre-answer them in my head. I want it to just like come from my heart and soul. And if I trip over my words, that's okay.
That's all good. We're constantly tripping all over our words, so you're in good company. So yeah, why don't we dive in? So you started in molecular biology and you worked in clinical research. Like, what did your life look like before you started this community for women in Toronto?
Yeah. So I moved to Toronto. I mean, technically, so I graduated university in 2023 in molecular biology, and I wasn't totally sure what I was going to do. I had spent a lot of time during my degree in the labs, pipetting, doing what a good biologist does. And to be honest, I didn't love it. It was not for me. There were no people there to talk to. Most of my days were just spent me in the fume hood. So
I've never heard that word before.
No, I know. It was me, like lab coat, gloves on, fume hood, AirPods in. That's
What's
all
a fume hood?
It sucks up the fumes. It's like there's a glass in front of you, and it's this big metal container that sucks up all like the toxic fumes that you're working with.
So it's like pretty much what it says it is. Okay,
yeah.
Understood.
Okay. Could be like a hood, like could be many things.
I was thinking like an oven range, like
yeah, honestly, it's just like a fancy oven range. So that was my day, and I knew I didn't want to start my career in that. And to be honest, like where I'm from the Maritimes, there's not a whole lot else in terms of jobs for someone with my background. So you kind of have no choice but to move to a big city. I landed on Toronto, and I ended up for the first few months while I was job hunting in Brampton, which was crazy because I moved and I'm like, GTA, it's all Toronto. It is not all the city.
Oh, wow. No.
Yeah. So
I was poor girl.
I was like, this kind of feels like I'm from Moncton, New Brunswick. I'm like, this just kind of feels like a big Moncton. It's just a bunch of plazas, a bunch of schools. It's kind of all it was. But I ended up job hunting, finding a job in clinical research downtown, and moving into clinical trials. So crazy experience.
Wow.
That's
and
insane.
Do you like Toronto?
I love Toronto. I'm really liking it. I think I was kind of meant for the big city. I love that you just meet somebody new every day. There's always like a new event going on or somewhere to walk to. Like the same walk I take every day feels different just because it's such a big city and so much going on.
So while you're getting settled in Toronto, you're in this new job, what was kind of going on behind the scenes? Like what was this like underlying current that took you from that to where you are now?
Yeah, I think when I moved to the city, I underestimated how hard it would be to meet people and kind of form friendships. So I kind of thought it would happen through work. I was like, everyone must just make friends at work, which I did. There were like lovely people that I work with, but I didn't realize going into the job market, like, oh, like I'm going to work with someone who's 20 and I'm going to work with someone who's 60, it's like, and they're going to be your friends at work, but they've all got their own lives. Maybe they're from here. Maybe they have friends from university or like their own community that they've made over the time that they've been here. So my first avenue, which was like, I'm going to make friends at work, didn't work out the way I thought. And then I tried to make friends out in the wild, which was fun and difficult. So
Yeah.
I would go to
there was a
Pilates.
lot. I feel like there was a lot underneath that fun. You were like, which was fun.
Yeah, it was fun in the sense that I really put myself out there. I was on like Bumble BFF. I was going to like Pilates classes and trying to chat up girls. Like it felt like dating. It felt like I was like hitting on them.
Dating for friends.
Yeah, which is, I guess, Bumble. Like, good for them. Like, it was a cool concept. But I did also get stood up. So I was like, I've never been on the other end of this.
By a woman? You got stood up?
I'm like, no, girl, we're on the same page. We're supposed to be like best friends.
Not a girl's girl.
Wait, I need to hear this story. So did you go somewhere and they just
I know, it was a coffee shop. It was just supposed to be a coffee shop. I think it was whatever. There's a coffee shop near my apartment. We both lived in the same area. I had just never run into her before, I guess. And I think she actually I lived in this building that was like 2 buildings connected at the lobby level. I think she lived in my building because I swear I saw her in my elevator one day, but I was too nervous to speak up. But yeah, she stood me up at a coffee shop and then never answered my DMs again.
You got stood up and ghosted.
Yeah. Never.
Oh my god.
What is wrong with society?
I know. And like, to be fair, like maybe she was super nervous or like, I'm not going to hold it against her. Like she was also on Bumble. So she also wanted to make friends. So like we both lost. in that situation.
You have such a good attitude. Oh my God.
Honestly, I was just about to say, I'm annoyed we can't blame this on men.
No, I know. I'm like, no, exactly. I'm like, what the heck? Another girl? Like one of us?
Come on.
I mean, good attitude. Yeah. With time and perspective. Did I go home and cry? Like a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's hard out here. Like it's a big city and it's lonely. So it was a tough one.
I totally get it. About maybe 2-3 years ago, I was in the same boat where I'm from Ottawa. So I had my friends, but I didn't have friends in the same stage of life. So I felt like, as you put it, I was dating for friends.
Yeah.
And I know how hard it can be. So good for you for putting yourself out there. I know even like when I was living in London, friends who were using Bumble BFF. So I know it can be really successful. But again, everything's so hit and miss, and it still doesn't feel that authentic and close and connected.
Well, it's like dating, right? Like, sometimes you go on dates and you're like, oh, they seemed funny or cool on the app, but we don't have anything in common. And having to go through that from a dating perspective and
a
friend's perspective,
a friendship perspective would be exhausting.
Yeah, like this would have been
imagine.
my villain origin story.
No, exactly. This is like this is my origin story for making this, because I could only do it like one time. I was stood up. I was like, never again. Like had that been a man, I probably would be celibate. I'd probably be like in the nunnery. No more.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Okay, so this was your origin story, your jumping off point. So what was going through your head? What was the kind of thought process that you were in after being stood up and ghosted by a potential friend?
Well, kind of like dating. I was like, oh, this will just happen with time. Like I'll meet someone in the wild. It'll all work out. And I did meet people, but it was kind of like people you would meet up with once every couple of months, like the texts, like not super consistent. Like it wasn't the community that I was looking for. I've been so lucky that I've always had kind of like a little girl group. So I was just like, oh, I don't have that here. Like, how do I create that? How do I foster that? So, that was kind of the jumping off point. It still took me another almost year after that before I worked up the courage to start posting online about like what I was experiencing and what I was going through, and to even come up with that idea. I knew I wanted to host some sort of group event, because I felt like, okay, if I'm going to there's always a chance I'm going to get stood up by one person. But let's say I have like a meetup. Let's say there's like 10 girls coming and like 1 or 2 girls don't show. 8 girls will still show. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to increase the odds and also just find other people who are in the exact same position to increase the chances of success. Almost kind of like scientific. I'm like the odds of making friends.
I like that.
Yeah. So that was kind of the starting point. I went through that for another couple of months and then started posting on the internet on TikTok.
Honestly, it's so brave to put yourself out there. I still get like about all of that. So
no,
that was my
saying
cringe scared face, by the way.
Yeah, no, I have that. I was saying before that in our pre-call, I've been climbing cringe mountain on the internet. Like I'm still on the climb. It is weird posting. I hate hearing my voice. I hate putting my face and even editing it. I'm like, ooh, like I have to listen back and watch myself and see myself roll my own eyes, but you just got to do it.
Yeah. And so talk to us about like the idea, the kernel of the idea, even before you started promoting it. Like, obviously you wanted to build community. We get that. You wanted to make friends, but like, what did you think maybe you wanted this community to do that you hadn't seen elsewhere?
Yeah, I'd seen, so Toronto's full of really cool groups, really cool events. There's always something new popping up and starting. But I wanted something that was so explicitly like, yeah, we're going to do something fun, but you're coming actually because you want to make friends, because like this idea is just like the event or the activity is just the facilitator. You're coming to meet somebody, to meet a girl, to have a conversation, hopefully exchange numbers and make a plan is the goal. So I felt like that was lacking in the city. There's so many events. So for example, like a Pilates event, like I love going to Pilates. So people go to these events to do Pilates, maybe get some cool like merch from a gift bag, and then take a cute picture and go home. I love that. I wanted to do that, but have girls coming who know that they're coming there to make friends. Like there is
to connect.
Explicit time. Yeah. And it's not networking. This isn't to like advance our careers. There's no like veiled intention. It is so blatant. You're here because you want to make a friend. And it doesn't feel cringy and it doesn't feel weird. Or maybe if it does, that's okay. It might feel less cringy and less weird because everyone else is also feeling the exact same thing.
I love that. Yeah. It's almost like speed dating where you're all kind of on the same level playing field, but less cringy than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibe. So that I had that idea back in January of 2025. And it took me until I started posting on TikTok in February. I started talking about it in the spring. And then it took me until I think late May, early June to post about hosting an event.
So what was your first event? What did that look like? And how did that kind of come to be?
Yeah, it was
picnic.
Yeah. I was like, what's a really low effort event? Like what I framed every event around at the time. What would I have shown up to when I first moved here? Like what would I have actually gone out of my way to go to? Like what is low barrier to entry? What feels like a safe thing to go to? You know, if you remove money from it, a lot of events are ticketed. Like if you can remove that, like what can I do that's feasible in public, feels safe and inviting for girls? And I actually filmed the TikTok inviting girls to it while on a picnic blanket outside of my apartment building. It's something I do all the time. I love to sit outside in nature, as much nature as I can get in Toronto. So that was the idea. And I posted about it and it kind of spiraled from there.
How much lead time did you give yourself to get people there? This says the marketer. I'm like, ooh, how much lead time?
Man, I need to work on my strategy because I never, to this day, I do not give myself enough lead time. I think I gave myself, I feel like even saying 3 weeks is ambitious. That's crazy.
Maybe it's good not to give yourself too much time, you know? Like you stay front of mind as opposed to being like, oh, I heard about this event 3 weeks from now. Maybe I'll go, maybe I won't. If you hear about it like 2 days before, maybe you're more likely. I don't know.
No.
I don't know the psychology.
So what did that first event look like? How many people showed up? What were the vibes like?
It was so cool. So I had like a reservation form at the time, just on like a Google Forms on my personal Gmail. And I got a ton of signups very, very quickly. I think in total I had, I want to say 300 signups. And the video itself like went, for me, pretty viral. It had a couple 100,000 views and a lot of comments, a lot of people reaching out saying, I can't make this, but you know, please do it again. Because
so cool.
Yeah. In the initial TikTok, I put the date right away. I didn't want to be like, date to come. And then someone would scroll by and forget. I was like, this is the date. this is where it's at. Like, this is what we're doing. It was at High Park. So yeah, I had like around, I want to say 300 girls fill out the form. And then on the day of, 100 girls came. So like I said, like there's people who just, for the whatever reason, last minute, it's not their time. That's okay. So I had about 100 girls show up. I told them to bring their own snacks if they were hungry, because it was like a Thursday after work, I think. I left work early. I brought my picnic blanket to work.
Love that.
I had a local community center, actually a community center in Brampton, donated a bunch of blankets so we could all sit on blankets. I brought whatever little games I had in my closet and then a speaker, and that was the vibe. And the girls came and it was the best time.
That's incredible.
Wow.
It was so fun.
And are those initial community members, have they continued to come? Like, have you noticed that even from your first events, not that it was that long ago, but those first events, like those people still attend the rest of the events?
And it's so cool because, yes, and then a lot of those girls now come to events as volunteers. So they'll come and help me host an event. A bunch of them turned into, I started a book club through this, book club chapter leads. So they would lead chapters of the book club in like local to their area. Yeah, it's crazy. I went to one of them. I went to her Christmas party. She came to the first event. She had moved to Toronto 2 weeks prior, and we kept in touch. She kept coming to events, and we've become real friends. So I went to her Christmas party. She's kind of intertwined into my friend circle now. So yeah, a lot of them I'm still in touch with, and have become really core, important members of the community in terms of running events, setting things up, and just support generally.
So what does the community look like now? So that was like, base camp for your community. Where are you guys now, and where's kind of the vision going forward?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was never intended. Like, I never intended for this to become my full-time job. I was like, this will be a fun little thing I do outside my 9 to 5. I'm going to make friends with the girls. The girls will make friends with me and each other. And then it will be what it will be from there. So the intention was never to take this full time. But it kind of spiraled because everyone like really aligned with the intentions of it and wanted to add something to it. So one girl's a Pilates teacher. She wanted to host a Pilates event. So she was my first co-host as an event. I met a girl through it who is starting a business, starting a pottery studio. She wanted to collaborate. We got together. We did a pottery event together. So everything was just kind of an add-on. Like, you meet someone new, they bring something they bring an idea, they bring, a business, they bring even just another contact, someone they want to put you into contact with from their own life. And it just built upon itself over time. And I reached like a point where, it was like, wow, this is really growing. And now I only have 24 hours in a day. So I reached like a breaking point where I was like, okay, I either have to maintain it at the level where it is, or I can really dive into this, but I can't continue working if I'm going to do that.
I have a question because I know we talked before about monetizing this. Yeah. And so I totally get this whole, I don't have enough hours in the day. There's so much desire to continue this. When it came to how do I support myself from a financial perspective, how did you think through building that? And I guess, how did you foresee if there was going to be enough demand for that monetization? Like, I think that what you're doing is so badass. But the first thing that I think of is like, ooh, shit. Like, how do you make sure that this can support your lifestyle in the same way that your full-time job did?
No, absolutely. And I mean, definitely one of the first questions on my mind when I even considered the idea, because Toronto rent is expensive. I still want to, do things and go out and enjoy life. And as much as I love running this community, it can't be a charity. It can't be entirely volunteer.
Yeah.
It does have to at some point. I'm putting a lot of work and I do have to find a way to pay myself for my time. So I think the moment I realized this could be viable, the intention was never to make money off of the girls, and that will remain the intention, and that will remain like that North Star. When I do have events that are ticketed, I'm not charging to make an enormous profit. I'm charging to cover my expenses. I just learned as I started growing these events that, there are brands that want to get involved. There is interest in the media. Different media companies had shown some interest and had made some offers. And getting these offers in my inbox made me realize I didn't take all of them, but okay, there is potential in this. And if I keep pushing forward, I will find those people, those businesses, those brands that align with my beliefs, that align with what I'm trying to build and, my mantras around that. And it will eventually be able to, sustain me as a business owner running it without drawing from these girls who just want to meet people. Was kind of the goal. That said, I'm still not there.
Right.
I'm still operating as a, brand new entrepreneur, who fortunately, I was able to work over the past couple of years, build a good emergency fund, and that is helping me out for now.
Well, I feel like it's just so important to bet on yourself, right? Yeah. And bet on something in your gut is so needed. Mm-hmm. And like we've talked about this so much on the podcast. Something happened to social structures after the pandemic. Something happens regardless. I mean, even pre-pandemic, when you get into your like late 20s and early 30s, where the social structures and the places that you would naturally depend on to meet people just like subtly start disappearing, while also you're splintering off from your friends in different life stages. So, I mean, there's such a need for something like this. And so to bet on yourself also takes a huge amount of self-confidence to really go all in. So where does that come from for you? Like, where did that sort of true belief in this idea to go all in and, quit the stability? I'm I'm a Taurus rising. So I very much like stability.
I love that. I have an astrology event on Friday.
Okay, I wish I was in Toronto because I would be
there. Oh my gosh, it's this Friday. I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah, no, I'm such an astrology girl.
Nicole, I think I said to Maggie when I chatted to her, I was like, Nicole would die for this. Like she would die.
100%. That scares me so much, right? Like that's so outside of my wheelhouse. So how did you, gather that confidence to be able to take this leap?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, to your point, like what you were saying before about society's not really built for, I would say, adult female friendships, like at all. I think it, obviously the remnants of how it was previously structured the past century still exists. Like we become more and more isolated, especially as women. We, take on such a mental load and now an increased workload in society. So that like having those spaces is, I think, so essential. And that splintering off of friendships, like that's like, it's so common. So for you guys and for everybody, for myself, like you just see the paths that you're on with your friends start to diverge, I think around like, 25, 26. And then, as we get older, it just continues on if we don't do something to kind of create new paths towards new people. Because, I can't expect all my friends, and I'm sure nobody does, to stay with me as much as I wish they would. And it's so hard. So everyone's in the same boat. And that's why I felt like this would be able to sustain itself. And I think that's where a lot of that confidence comes from. It's just knowing that is the reality. I'm experiencing it and I can't be experiencing it alone. The confidence is just kind of like, I'm very much like, we really I think we only get one shot at this. And why not? I don't have a whole lot holding me back. If the only thing I had holding me back right now is, this 9 to 5 that I was tied to, like I can get another 9 to 5. If this doesn't work out the way I want, I will be so much better off for having tried something that I'm truly passionate about, having grown all these new skills, learning about, marketing, learning about business, finance and taxes and communications and outreach and just the confidence I'm building through learning these new skills. Maybe it'll take me to a similar career path that I was on before. Maybe this will work out perfectly, or maybe I'll pivot and do something totally different in the future. But I don't think I'm any worse off for trying. And I guess that's where it came from. And I'm also a big believer that these kind of moments, like these decisions, is just like you have to be brave for like 5 minutes. So the 5 minutes that it took me to like give my resignation to my job, that's all I had to be brave for. Then I got to be really scared after and continue to be really scared. So.
Do you apply the same logic to what you said at the top of the call, where you felt like you've been having to climb cringe mountain in posting yourself online? Like, is that related?
100%. Like I post and then throw my phone. Like I can't look at it.
That would be how I have to do it.
Yeah. Oh, I'll delete it. If I have my phone on my hand, I'll be like, actually, you know what? That
horrendous.
Doesn't look good.
Who do I think I am?
Really? I don't know what this says about me, but I like watch mine after.
You're like,
I'm
I look really good.
I'm like, oh.
You're like, oh my God.
No, I'm probably being self-critical. Like, I'm not looking at it being like, oh my gosh, like you sound amazing. But I specifically about posting on TikTok or posting on Instagram, I think my vibe is like, I never know what's going to work. And I have like no followers, so I shouldn't really even be talking. But like, you never know what's going to take off or resonate. Like, I'm still in that place.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm getting sometimes just like a few hundred views on stuff. So I'm like, whatever, who cares? Whereas I think I can imagine, like, Maggie, I know that that's not the case for you now. Like, you're getting a lot more. So it probably does like ramp up as you realize that there's more eyeballs on you, which is a benefit to your community, but it's sort of like one feeds the other in a sense.
Oh yeah. Like I still get very, nervous and self-critical every time I create something or post something. But I don't know. I've had to kind of gamify this whole thing. I'm just like, this is all just for fun. And I always like check in with myself. I'm like, the moment this isn't fun anymore, like I don't need to do it. And not to say that the moment it's difficult, I'll stop doing it, because I think it's important to do difficult and uncomfy things. But the moment that I'm not enjoying the difficulty or not enjoying the learning process anymore, the moment it starts to feel inauthentic, then I'm like, I can put it down.
Yeah.
So.
The one thing I was going to say too, going back to like Nicole's question around where does the self-confidence come from? Yeah. I imagine starting this community and having 300 signups for your first event, and then having 100 people show up, and then running several more before you decided to, go out and make this your full-time gig. Yeah. That builds confidence. And hearing what women are saying at these meetups, like, were you hearing sort of the same thing from different people? Like, what was the feedback from people that made you think, oh, wow, okay, I need to continue doing this?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Like, that's what makes all of it worth it, is like first hosting these events and realizing, like, having those conversations and just coming to that realization, we're actually all just going through the exact same thing for different reasons, different points in time. Like, mine happened at, 26, 27 when I moved to Toronto, but someone else's is happening at 30 when maybe they got a new job, or maybe all their friends, got married, or their closest friend moved away, or whatever it may be. Like, I'm talking to women from all different walks of life. I know a woman who I met at an event recently. She just got divorced. She's same age as me, married at 20, now divorced at 27. And she's like, I don't know what to do now. Like, I don't have a community. So it's like we're all experiencing these same feelings, just from different paths to get us there. So yeah, going to these events, I knew that, and I'm like, oh, there's a need for this. And that's where that confidence came from. But then it's also afterwards, like, I make it so explicit at these events. I'm like, we're here, the activity is a facilitator, but the idea is to meet people. So take out your phone right now and exchange Instagrams with at least one other person. Like, I want to give them permission to connect. That's all they're kind of looking for. And then seeing them do that. And then a lot of them I'll follow on the internet after, and then see them actually post, I see that they'll go to concerts together. 2 girls spent Christmas together. Like, it's just seeing those real connections. Like,
I would feel like a fairy godmother.
I've cried. Like, I don't know how to explain that feeling. It's just like the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. And like, that continually reinforces itself, even when the paycheck isn't there.
Yeah. I feel, I mean, I can imagine to some extent as well that beyond it being, gratifying to see the results, but they must appreciate it so much. Because even someone being like, exchange Instagram, right? Versus them having to ask or make the first move or anything like that, which is still awkward and uncomfortable even in a platonic setting.
Yeah.
Probably also just reduces that barrier of cringe when it comes to making new friends, because the landscape has changed dramatically. Is there, when you're having events, how often, like, how many women are typically coming to more than one event? Is it, like, for your community, is it people showing up once? Is it them showing up multiple times? What's kind of the way that it's expanded or grown?
Yeah, I would say at any given event, I would say at least 35% of the women have previously attended an event.
Really?
So it's a really good return rate because I don't want it to be just the same group of girls every time. I mean, that's cool. I'm glad they would all love it. But I want to be able to help more people. I want more people to experience it. And I want it to kind of grow and magnify itself. And I also think if the same group of women were coming to every event, that I'm not being creative enough and finding interests and facilitating spaces for different types of women too.
Yeah.
So I want, people who are into movement, people who are into crafting and creative, people who are more into conversation. I want to have a spot for everybody.
That's brilliant.
I want to talk a little bit about the entrepreneurial aspect of this. So like what has surprised you about the process of turning this into like a fully fledged business or business endeavor at the end of the day? Because I'm sure you learned so much before leaving your full-time gig, but like what has surprised you since making this your full-time job?
Like everything. I learned so much. I learned how to use Canva. I learned how to post on Instagram and TikTok. I didn't know anything about running a business at all. Like I worked in the hospital. So I didn't even know about like business structures. I barely knew how to send like a business email. I would email doctors back and forth all day, which is just like riddled with spelling errors. It's like, can you come here right now? And it's just, it's nothing
Crazy.
Yeah, it's so different. It's so not formal. I'm good at making an SOP. I'm good at reading about, complex medications, but I've never had to understand business structure, business hierarchy,
contracts.
Oh my gosh, contracts, negotiations, any of that. I've never had to. How to even organize those documents, like how to make my job easier for myself. Like my home screen is just littered with these things. Like, so I'm still not there. I haven't figured out all the tips and tricks, but talking to people helps. So one of the first things I did when I went full time is I posted about it online, that I was going full time, that I was nervous, that I was excited, blah, blah, blah. Just like a little post, be like, I'm doing it. Like, I don't know what it is, but
you can't go back now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, someone help. So from that, I got a lot of feedback, a lot of DMs, a lot of messages and comments with people who it's the same thing. People just like, resonated and they wanted to help. So I've been so lucky to have meetings with communications specialists, public relations managers, people who just want to meet and offer me their advice and their guidance. Social media managers, just people I can talk to, pick their brains, and then start using that information. So that's where I've been. So everything has surprised me with this entrepreneurship journey because I actually don't know what the status quo is or how things are supposed to flow. I'm figuring it out, and it's, I think, a little bit slower than I'd like to, but I have to be, content that I'm doing my best. I have a certain amount of hours in a day, and I also want to enjoy the time. I'm not here to burn myself out as fast as I possibly can. I want to make this still a fun process for me.
You have such an incredible attitude. It is so refreshing.
Nicole's such a cynic.
I'm such a cynic.
So yeah, I'm a bit of a cynic, but Nicole takes the cake in that regard.
I more so think that like it's not even about being a cynic or not being a cynic. I think just there's so much light and so much open curiosity in the way that you're approaching this, that you don't have to be perfect and you don't have to have everything kind of figured out right now. And I think that is such a beautiful thing that so many people can really learn from. And I think that's probably inherently just who you are. That would be my guess without knowing too much about you. But I think maintaining that through an entrepreneurial journey must be challenging. What tips would you have for someone else entering their own entrepreneurial journey to kind of level set their expectations or their mindset? Because I can imagine, not a straight shot all the way across.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. That's so kind. I think also to say, I think everyone I love is a little more cynical. So I've always kind of been like the actually like glass half full guys, because it's like I'm friends with a lot of people in science who are so realistic. And I wouldn't even say cynical. I would just say people are, realistic. People are practical.
Yeah.
I think, in today's day and age, you kind of have to be to get by. You got to be, practical. But I guess advice for someone or even myself like 6 months ago, people want to help you. People are genuinely, I think at their core, I think people are good. I think people are kind. People want to offer what they can. Like I would do anything to help one of my friends. And honestly, probably most strangers. So a lot of people have that same mindset and you have to take advantage of it. And sometimes I feel guilt for taking, advantage of it. Like, if, someone's offered me this help, but I don't want to waste their time. They could be doing much more productive things. I've had to learn to let go of that mindset and learn that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to take the time that you need to have. It's okay to have expectations for yourself that are, I don't want to say lower, but that are realistic. I would say I set very high expectations for myself in terms of my goals, but I've had to be more realistic in terms of my pace, my how fast can I actually learn to do something and learn to do it well. And my dad always used to say, first you get good, then you get fast. So that's kind of the mentality I've taken into that. Yeah. So I'm just trying to get good right now. I wouldn't even say I'm at good yet, but I'm just trying to get good.
I would also probably say that the people that are trying to help you right now, they're probably not doing it just because they're probably doing it because they recognize how important connection is and how starved for it so many people are. And if I was to guess, I'm assuming that the majority of people helping you are also women.
They're all women.
Yeah. So it's all
good.
It's women that recognize how important community is. And I think when they see the value in something, so I don't sell yourself short as to like they're helping you just out of the goodness of their heart. They're doing it because they see the value in this and wish they had something connected for them.
Yeah, I think Nicole's absolutely right. And also, like, people like to be asked to help.
100%.
Like, I love when someone's like someone reached out to me like, oh, do you have time? Like, I know you're probably so busy, but can you make time this week for a quick mentoring call? And I'm like, totally. Because like, I like being asked. Like, there is definitely like, I love giving back to people and being able to support them. But there is an element of like, it makes me feel good at the end of the day, right? To be able to do that. So yeah, I agree. Don't sell yourself short.
I love that. I love that mindset of that. People, and we work so hard to get the skills that we have. So it's nice to be able to kind of use that for somebody else to.
People like feeling good.
Yeah.
And helping people makes them feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For someone who feels like maybe they're missing something in their life, they're missing connection. Maybe they're not even where they want to be.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them based on the journey that you've been on?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I was her. So it's like, what would I say to myself? It'll come with time, but you have to be willing to give a little to get a lot too. So you've got to take that step. You've got to put yourself in that uncomfortable situation. You don't have to do it constantly. You just got to do it a couple of times. So, so give yourself some time, give yourself some grace, but put a little effort behind it. Because, the reward is worth the minutes of discomfort that you feel.
I love that.
I love it.
And if someone is based in Toronto, is the next, or how do they learn more about what you're doing and get involved?
Absolutely. Right now, it's mainly run through Instagram. So my Instagram is at connectioncollective.to. That's probably the best spot to get it. I have a website as well, connectioncollective.ca. But just, find me on there. Follow me. I'm posting new things. We usually host, I would say, 2 to 3 events a month. We have a couple recurring events like our book club. In the summer, we're going to start into our recurring sip and strolls. So where we just literally get a coffee and go for a walk. So very low barrier to entry, as long as you don't mind coming and chatting with a few new girls, hopefully. But we do host higher touch events that are a little more niche, a little more involved. So like, for example, it's an astrology and wine social. So wine tasting plus curated astrology.
Nicole's coming up for the weekend now.
I'm coming to Toronto.
I know, it's crazy. So it's a mix. So if you're into something very niche, there might be something for that person coming up. Or if you want something more general, super low barrier to entry, you just want to be in a big pack of women and have a couple conversations and leave. I can't guarantee you're going to leave with your next best friend, but you're going to leave feeling more connected. You're going to meet someone who's cool. Yeah, exactly.
What's the vision for you? So like, for your community a year from now, 5 years from now, what is your dream that this turns into?
Man, if I can just keep doing what I'm doing full time and find a way to have it, you know, not just sustain me, but like grow. I want to grow into this and have it become more. Right now, I'm trying to take it step by step. But I mean, a year from now, be doing the same thing, have a recurring calendar of events, keep speaking to really cool people like yourselves and, you know, creating, connecting, building community. As long as I get to exercise those muscles, I'm happy. I mean, hopefully more collaborations, more people, more fun. I'm happy where I'm at.
I could totally see. Oh, sorry, Meg.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead, Cole.
I'm like, I could totally see, just as not to pitch, but I could see you doing like a camp, like an overnight thing, or like some sort of like hotel staycation kind of thing in the
My
city.
dream. Okay, like if I'm manifesting.
Yes, we're manifesting.
Yeah, if I'm manifesting, like the dream would be to host, like I would love to host one or multiple retreats. The dream would be either, you know, maybe something international someday or like something here in Ontario. There's so many cool places, cool lakes, cool hotels, motels, different places. So I would love a retreat to really like dive into connection. I'd love to create more content around connection. Like I'm planning actually as well starting a podcast to talk to women in the city.
Cool.
So hopefully in a year from now, that's up and running and doing well. So
yeah,
I'll have questions for you guys later.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
we would love to help you. Sorry, this is a callback to liking to be asked. But yes, we would love to help.
Yeah, so that's part of it. So just getting, you know, building, growing, having fun, a couple cool things like that. Like, yeah, a little more curated, a little more high touch, a little more high effort. But those are all out there in the universe, hopefully.
And I would dream big if I was you, because I think the potential for this, like there's nothing more valuable in the world than connection, truly.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's having a moment. I think brands are realizing that too. Moment. Businesses are realizing that, and the women have known this. Like we've known this. Society thrives when the women are connected. So it's time that, you know, everyone else starts to get it together.
And it's not even that being connected, it's being connected in real life.
Yeah,
right. It's the physical analog touch point, not any sort of digital curated space that's solely digital and virtual.
Yeah, not just a chat room. Like I wanna see somebody. I wanna know you. I wanna see you. I wanna meet you where you're at, and I wanna have fun. I wanna laugh. So you can't. That's not an online space. There's great online spaces out there. Don't get me wrong, but nothing beats in person.
Yeah,
nothing beats in person.
Okay, well, we always close with one question to our guests, which is, what does living well right now mean to you? And I'm not going to say the question again. Go for it.
What does living well mean to me? I think it just means I'm excited. Living well to me means I wake up in the morning and I feel excited about whatever my day looks like, whatever I'm working on, the people that I'm surrounded by. I just want to wake up and feel like I have things that I'm, you know, looking forward to. And, you know, you're not always in that perfect headspace. Like I wake up and I'm thrilled, but I think if you can wake up and you know that I can make this happen, even if I'm not feeling it today, I can make myself have that feeling soon. As long as I'm working towards that, then I feel like I'm living well. There's not much I need in the world. Just a little bit of connection, community, and a little bit of purpose.
I love
so well
you.
said. Yeah. Oh my God. You're coming on too strong, Nicole.
Sorry, I know.
No, I love it.
Be cool.
No, I come on so strong too. Like I feel like I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but
here's what I'll say. I think honestly, being chill was meant for 2025, and I'm leaving it in last year.
Oh, I can't. I have no chill. Like I can't make friends in a chill way. I can't just run into somebody. I'm like, actually, what if I start an entire social community?
I was just gonna say, this has come full circle. You're like, actually, what if this is my whole calling?
Yeah. What if I leave my job for this? Then what?
It's so funny you're saying that, because like so with work, I've got this big project right now, and it's now grown bigger than it was meant to, and it's all big because I've been like, okay, but what if?
Yeah.
Okay, but what if? And like every little level, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's such a no chill whatsoever.
No, I love that. Don't have chill. Yeah, leave chill.
That's what this episode is going to be called. No chill.
There's no need for chill. There's no time for chill.
No time for chill.
We have things to do.
I love this.
I love it. Thank you so much, Maggie.
Thank you guys for having me. This was so much fun.
We will make sure that all of your info is in the show notes to all the listeners. Please go check her out. You will meet me for sure at one of her upcoming events. And Nicole
I'll come to
will obviously
Toronto
be
for sure.
coming for one of the events too.
The next astrology event, I am there.
Yeah.
Yes, the girls are loving that one. We gotta do it again.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank
We
you
will
so
talk
much,
to you
Maggie.
soon. Bye.
Bye.
so much.
Bye, guys.